So we are discussing from Canto 9 chapter 13, okay, the dynasty of King Nimi. So here we were discussing the first section from shloka number 1 to 11, where King Nimi and Vasishtha curse each other. So till shloka number 8 we discussed yesterday, and today we will discuss from 9th onwards. Okay. Okay. 9.13.9. यस्य योगं न वाञ्छन्ति वियोगभयकातराः भजन्ति चरणाम्भोजं मुनयो हरिमेधसः. Yasya, with the body, yogam, contact, na, do not, vanchanti, jnanis, desire. Viyoga, bhayakataraha, being afraid of giving up body again. Bhajanti, of a transcendental loving service. Charana ambhojam, of the lotus feet of the Lord. Muniyaha, great saintly persons. Harimedhasaha, whose intelligence is always absorbed in thoughts of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maharaj Nimi continued, Mayavadis generally want freedom from accepting a material body because they fear having to give it up again. But devotees whose intelligence is always filled with the service of the Lord are unafraid. Indeed, they take advantage of the body to render transcendental loving service. Okay, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Nimi did not want to accept a material body which would be a cause of bondage. Because he was a devotee, he wanted a body by which he could render devotional service to the Lord. Okay, so because of the curse, he left his body, and now the rishis, they again did some arrangement and they were ready to bring him back in the body by the prayers of, because they prayed to demigods and all. But he did not want to come back. Why? Because he did not want to accept a material body, which because again it will cause him bondage. But he wanted a body by which he could render devotional service to Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Janmao bhi more ichha yadi tora bhakt grihe jani janma hau Mora Keet Janma Hau Yatha Tuya Das. My Lord, if you want me to take birth and accept a material body again, kindly do me this favor. Allow me to take birth in the home of your servant, your devotee. I do not mind being born there even as an insignificant creature like an insect. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so here, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying that, my dear Lord, if at all I get you want me to take next material body, then give me birth in the house of your devotee. If I am not that qualified to become a son of your devotee or like some family member of a devotee, then at least you give me birth as an insect in the house of your devotee, like an insect. Yeah. Keet janma ho yatha tuya das. Birth of an insect. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagdisha kamay mama janmani janmanishware bhavatir ahetuki tvai. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want life after life is unmotivated devotional service to you. By saying life after life, Janmani Janmani, here it is a Janmani means life after life. So the Lord referred not to an ordinary birth but a birth in which to remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay. So nothing I want, even liberation I don't want, and all I want is life after life, unmotivated devotional service to Krishna. So that's what, not an ordinary birth but an birth where a person can render service to Krishna. Life after life. The Lord referred not to an ordinary birth but a birth in which to remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a body is desirable. So a devotee does not think like yogis and gyanis who want to refuse a material body and become one with the impersonal Brahman effulgence. No, they don't want that. Because if they go and merge there in impersonal Brahman, there won't be any service. So devotee want to do service. Okay, so devotee always want to render some service. So a person, a devotee who has a service attitude, like he want to always do some service, okay, that person will get service in Goloka also. That person is needed there. Person who don't want to do service, he is not needed there, because there only we have to do service. So if we are having that service attitude, service mentality, want to always serve, then only we will get chance to enter there. Because there only servants are required, because master is already Krishna. So no master is required there. Okay. So whoever want to become master, they all are thrown into material world. Okay. Okay, whoever want to become master, they all are thrown to material world. And whoever want to become servant, they all are there. Or if now they have, okay, so there are two type of people, jivas. First, who want to become servant, so they are already there and serving Krishna. Who want to become master, they are thrown into material world. Now the ones who are thrown into material world, they are two type. The one who understood that they did a mistake, and the one who did not understand that they have done a mistake. So the one who did not understand that they have done mistake, they are still suffering in this material world, and they are continuously rotating in 84 lakh of species, that cycle. But the other one who understood that they have made a mistake by coming here to become a master, and their real position which will give them satisfaction and happiness, that is to be servant of Krishna. So they start rectifying their mistake. They start some practice of solution, that is bhakti. So they are the one who come to the path of bhakti. But they understand. So when they come to the path of bhakti, they have to understand that what they need to learn. First thing they need to learn to serve. Okay, so service is very, very important. So they have to learn how to serve. Okay, because if when there is a love, then person want to serve. And when service means to please the person. Okay. So how Krishna will be pleased with us, that we have to learn. Okay. So that is the point, that if you want to go there, you need to learn to do service. Okay. That's how, like a person, suppose somebody want to take like he want to get into army or civil services. So what they do? They do so much practice before, right? Army, if you want to go in army, he has to do same army kind of practice before appearing into entrance itself, right? Every day he will run, he will do so much exercise, so many things he will do, so that he can pass the entrance. So what is that practice? Because he has to do same thing after getting into army, you have to do that. So you have to practice now. Okay. So that's what anybody who want to get into Goloka, they need to practice now. Okay. They need to practice now. What they need to practice? They need to practice service. So they need to learn service. So service means to please. To love means to serve means to please. So service means to please the person. Somehow other means, so like Prabhupada used to say, service means to please. So example is that Prabhupada said, I am asking you to give me water because I am thirsty, and you are giving me milk. So that's, you are thinking from your point of view, very nice. Arey, why only water? I will give you milk, which is more nice thing, very more vitamins, more nutritions, more healthy. What is there in water? Nothing. So take milk. So Prabhupada said, but I want water because I am thirsty. So for when I am thirsty, I need water, not the milk. But you are not giving me water, you are giving me milk. So this is not called service. Service means whatever is done, you do that. That is called service. You just ask a person how you will be pleased. So what he says, you do that. So he will be happy. So that is a nice service. Right? So we want to please Krishna. Right? So we want to enter into Goloka. So we have to serve, because there only servants are required, not the masters, as I said already. So what we have to do? We have to serve. So in order to serve, we need to know how Krishna wants us to serve, how Krishna will be happy. Right? So who will tell that what Krishna wants from us, what we need to do as service to Krishna? Who will tell? So that will be told to us by Krishna's representative, Guru or other devotees. So that is why we have to ask our Guru and other sadhus, other devotees, how you will be pleased. So they will tell, and then you do that. And when they will be happy, Krishna will be automatically happy. Because how Krishna becomes happy? Krishna becomes happy when his devotees becomes happy. So Krishna says in 3rd canto that, in the Chatuskunda Jai Vijay episode, that I am not happy with the people offering so much ghee or other oblations in the sacrificial fire. Compared to this, I am more and more happy when the ghee, the preparations made in ghee are fed into mouth of my devotees. So I am very happy with that. So when you please a devotee of Krishna, then Krishna is automatically pleased. Right? So that is the trick. If you want to enter into Goloka, you need to learn how to serve. Right? Because there only servants are required. There is no vacancy for a master. Because master vacancy, only one post is there, which is already occupied by Krishna. And he is not going to die also. He is not going to retire also. Because he never becomes old. So he will never retire. Okay, so if somebody thinks, okay, after 60 years he will get retirement and next position. No. He is always Navyavanam. Okay, he is always young. He never gets old, so he will not get retired. Then somebody is like, we're not getting retired, okay, at least he will die one day. Then the master post will be vacant in Goloka. Then there will be vacancy. Then I can apply, I can become master. No. Because Krishna is Ajanma and Nitya. He is Nitya. He will never die. Okay. So you will, or anyone will never get the position of master. And there is only one position. Now there are many positions of servant in Goloka. So right, and that vacancy is never going to be over. Why? Because unlimited services are there and unlimited positions are there. Anyone can go and render service. But for that you need to have that qualification. What is that qualification? You need to know how to serve. You need to know how to serve. So that you need to learn. And how you will learn? You will learn from taking instruction from Guru and other devotees. Right? So you will learn how to serve. So humbly if you serve, then you will learn how to do service. So just as a servant. Okay. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. So we are like kinkara. Kinkara means just a servant. Okay. Dasa means like you, there are like there is, servant has no kind of desire. Whatever is said, you just do it. That is servant. Right? Servant means whatever is told, you just do it. That's it. No further question, why this, what this, no. Like servant should not ask do argument. Hey, why you are doing like this? Why you are asking me to do this? What is the use of this? You are asking me to do this, do that, and no use. No. So servant has no right to speak. That's what. We are very easily, we say, your servant is this, that. So servant means we have no right to speak. Whatever is said, you just do it. Okay. Servant cannot ask, Arey, yesterday only asked me to keep these items there, and now you are asking me to keep it back. What is the point? Why you ask me there? Unnecessary, you are giving me job. No. Servant can, whatever is said to you, you just do it. Okay. So you have to learn how to serve. If you want to go to Goloka and serve Krishna, then you need to practice that here and become a good servant. Then only you will be selected there. Okay, because there are many other people who are trying to get into that job of servant in Goloka. So if you want, you need to have that qualification. Okay, so you have to learn, and how to learn? You need to learn by serving the devotee of Krishna. So when you serve the devotee of Krishna, then Krishna is automatically very happy with you, and he will take you to the Goloka. Okay. So devotee does not think like yogis and jnanis who want to refuse a material body and become one with the impersonal Brahman effulgence. So why? Because devotee want to serve. So devotee does not like this idea. On the contrary, he will accept any body, material or spiritual, for he want to serve the Lord. Devotee want to serve the Lord. So whatever situation it is, if service is given, he will be happy. So this is real liberation. So if one has a strong desire to serve the Lord, even if he accepts a material body, there is no cause of anxiety. Since a devotee, even in the material body, is a liberated soul. This is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami. Yaha yasya harer dasya karmana manasa girani khilasva api avasthasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna with his body, mind and intelligence and words, is a liberated person even within the material world. He is already liberated. Although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. The desire to serve the Lord establishes one as liberated in any condition of life, whether in a spiritual body or a material body. What is the trick here? The desire to serve the Lord. Okay. So in a spiritual body, the devotee become a direct associate of the Lord. But even though a devotee may superficially appear to be in material body, he is always liberated and is engaged in the same duties of service to the Lord as a devotee in Vaikuntha Loka. So there is no distinction. It is said, Sadhur Jivo va Marova. Whether a devotee is alive or dead, his only concern is to serve the Lord. Tyaktva deham punarjam naiti mamiti. When he gives up his body, he goes directly to become an associate of the Lord and serve him, although he does the same thing even in a material body, in the material world. So for a sadhu, for a devotee, there is no, it doesn't matter whether he is alive or dead, because when he is alive in material body, he is serving the Lord, and when he dies, he leaves the material body, then he goes to back home, back to Godhead, and there also he serves the Lord. So for him it is all same thing. So for a devotee there is no pain. For a devotee there is no pain, pleasure or material perfection. One may argue that at the time of death, a devotee also suffers because of giving up his material body. But in this connection, the example may be given that a cat carries a mouse in its mouth and also carries a kitten in its mouth. Both the mouse and the kitten are carried in the same mouth, but the perception of the mouse is different from that of the kitten. Very nice. When a devotee gives up his body, Tyaktva deham, he is ready to go back home, back to Godhead. So death is like that. For a non-devotee, death is like cat carrying the mouse in her mouth. And for a devotee, death is like cat carrying the kitten in her mouth. Okay, so that kitten feels very comfortable, but mouse feels death. So thus, his perception is certainly different from that of a person being taken away by Yamraj for punishment. A person whose intelligence is always concentrated upon the service of the Lord is unafraid of accepting a material body, whereas a non-devotee having no engagement in the service of the Lord is very much afraid of accepting a material body or giving up his present one. So therefore we should follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. It doesn't matter whether we accept a material body or a spiritual body. Our only ambition should be to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So since it is impossible to worship the lotus feet of the Lord without a body, please give me a spiritual body as an associate of the Lord. This is the esoteric meaning of his request. Okay, so that was the request made by Maharaj Nimi, that I want a spiritual body, not the material body. Deham na varurutse aham dukha shok bhayavaham sarvatrasya yato mrityur matsyanam udake yatha. Deham, a material body, na, not avarurutse, desire to accept, aham, I, dukha shok bhaya avaham, which is the cause of all kinds of distress, lamentation and fear. Sarvatra, always and everywhere within this universe. Asya, of the living entities who have accepted material bodies. Yataha, because mrityu, death. Matsyanam, of the fish. Udake, living within the water. Yatha, like. I do not wish to accept a material body, for such a body is the source of all distress, lamentation and fear. Everywhere in the universe, just as it is for a fish in the water which lives always in anxiety because of fear of death. Okay, so Maharaj Nimi is saying that this material body I don't want, because in this material body always a person is always distressed and out of fear and fear of death, like a fish is always afraid of death. Okay, so I don't want this material body which is the source of all misery. So the material body, whether in the higher or lower planetary system, is destined to die. Whether it is Brahma's planet, Swarga planet, whatever planet, but material body will be destroyed. In the lower planetary system or lower species of life, one may die soon, and in the higher planets or higher species, one may live for a long, long time. But death is inevitable. So whether the time spent may be different, but death is sure. So this fact should be understood. In the human form of life, one should take the opportunity to put an end to birth, death, old age and disease by performing tapasya. This is the aim of human civilization, to stop the repetition of birth and death, which is called Mrityu Sansara Vartmani. So what is this thing, that in the human form of life, one should take the opportunity to stop this birth and death cycle. Okay, no more birth, old age, disease and death. That we have to apply. I mean that process, for this purpose only the human birth is there. That is the best thing which a human can do. So this is the aim of human civilization. What? To stop the repetition of birth and death, which is called Mrityu Sansara Vartmani. Okay. So when all the jivas are there rotating in 84 lakh of species, but all the material body are destined to die, but when he comes in this cycle in the body of human, then he can break this system. Okay, that is the thing. So this can be done only when one is Krishna conscious or has achieved the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. Otherwise one must rot in this material world and accept a material body subject to birth, death, old age and disease. Okay, so if he is not becoming Krishna devotee, then he cannot overcome it. The example given is that water is a very nice place for a fish, but the fish is never free from anxiety about death, since big fish are always eager to eat the small fish. So these fishes are there in the water, where that is the right place, but still they are always afraid, because there are always some bigger fish which will eat them, which will eat the small fish. So they are always afraid of death. Falguni tatra mahatam. All living entities are eaten by bigger living entities. Okay, so this is the way of material nature. Ahastani चतुष्पदाम फल्गुनी तत्र महताम जीवो जीवस्य जीवनम. Those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are prey for the four-legged. The weak are the subsistence of the strong, and the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. Okay, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. One living being is food for another. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead has created the material world in such a way that one living entity is food for another living entity. Thus there is a struggle for existence. But although we speak of survival of the fittest, no one can escape death without becoming a devotee of the Lord. Okay, survival of the fittest. Prabhupada is quoting that it is okay, but still nobody can survive, okay, if he is not devotee of Krishna, because everyone has to die. Without becoming devotee of Krishna, one will never, no one can overcome death. Harim bina nev sritim taranti. One cannot escape the cycle of birth and death without becoming a devotee. Harim bina nev sritim taranti. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Aprapya mam nivartante mrityu sansara vartmani. One who does not attain shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna must certainly wander up and down within the cycle of birth and death. If a person is not devotee of Krishna, he should rotate in this material world only. So Nimi Maharaj is saying that I do not desire to accept a body. Even in water, the fish dies from other water creatures. Other creatures in other places also die by their very nature. So, in worshipping the Lord's feet, they show desire for happiness of service. Service is not possible without a body. So, do they not desire a body suitable for that service? So, no. So, Nimi Maharaj may say that I don't desire a body which is subject to sorrow and lamentation and fear. This kind of material body. This means he desires a body of an associate filled with eternal bliss and suitable for the highest service of the Lord. So that devotee association, that kind of body he wants. That means that spiritual body he wants. Okay. Deva uchuhu videha ushyatam kamam lochneshu sharirinam unmeshan nimeshabhyam lakshito adhyatma samstitaha. Devaha uchu, the demigod said, videha, without any material body, ushyatam, you live kamam as you like, lochneshu, in the vision, sharirinam, of those who have material bodies, unmeshan nimeshabhyam, become manifest and unmanifest as you desire, lakshita, being seen, adhyatma samstitaha, situated in a spiritual body. The demigods said, let Maharaj Nimi live without a material body. Because they were asking demigods to give him body, right? So he said, I don't want. So then the demigods said, let Maharaj live without a, the demigods said, let Maharaj Nimi live without a material body. Let him live in a spiritual body as a personal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And according to his desire, let him be manifest or unmanifest to common material embodied people. Wow. Okay, so the demigods wanted Maharaj Nimi to come to life, but Maharaj Nimi did not want to accept another material body. Under the circumstances, the demigods, having been requested by the saintly persons, gave him the benediction that he would be able to stay in his spiritual body. So there are two kinds of spiritual bodies as generally understood by common men. The term spiritual body is sometimes taken to refer to a ghostly body. An impious man who dies after sinful activities is sometimes condemned so that he cannot possess a gross material body of 5 material elements, but must live in a subtle body of mind, intelligence and ego. However, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, devotees can give up the material body and attain a spiritual body free from all material tinges, gross and subtle. Tyaktva deham punarjan neti mamiti. So Arjuna, Thus the demigods gave King Nimi the benediction that he would be able to stay in a purely spiritual body, free from all gross and subtle material contamination. So it's not like then Maharaj Nimi accepted a ghost body, no. He accepted pure spiritual body. The Supreme Personality of Godhead can be seen or unseen according to his own transcendental desire. Similarly, a devotee being Jivan Mukta can be seen or not as he chooses. So as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Naham Prakashaha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavritaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is not manifest to everyone and anyone. To the common man, he is unseen. Atah Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Graham Indriya. Krishna and his name, Atah Sri Krishna Namadi. So Sri Krishna and his name and other things like his name, fame, qualities and paraphernalia, and Na Bhavet Graham Indriya, cannot be materially understood through our senses unless one is advanced in spiritual life. Sevon mukhe jivadau, one cannot see Krishna. So when one with this indriya, with these senses, one cannot see Krishna. But Sevan mukhe jivadau, but when he engages his tongue in the service of Krishna, how? By chanting Hare Krishna and by taking Krishna Prasad. Therefore, the ability to see Krishna depends on Krishna's mercy. The same privilege of being seen. So this is very important, that the ability to see Krishna depends on Krishna's mercy. One cannot say that I have done this much chanting, this much sadhana, this everything, so Krishna is forced to come in front of me. No, Krishna is not forced and obliged. And so seeing Krishna, it completely depends on Krishna's mercy. Okay, but in order to get the mercy, one should do nice sadhana. So the same privilege of being seen or unseen according to one's own desire was given to Maharaj Nimi. So this kind of privilege was given to Maharaj Nimi also, that whenever he want, he will be visible. Whenever he don't want, he will not be visible. Thus he lived in his original spiritual body as an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So the sages requested that the king's body should be revived. The king requested to not have a material body. Since the devatas could not fulfill the third request for a spiritual body, they spoke with a desire to give the first two requests. Let him dwell without a body, and let him be visible to men in a subtle body. By these two benedictions he would live and be free from bondage of a material body. Thus the two requests were fulfilled. So he was not having any material body, he was having a spiritual body. So that was the solution here, that the sages wanted his body to be brought back to life. The king refused this, so they were able to bestow a boon so that his desire could be fulfilled. So he will have a spiritual body. So whenever he want, he will be visible. Whenever he don't want, he will not be visible. Okay. So that was the Maharaj Nimi. So Maharaj Nimi said, I don't want this material body. He just got detached. Okay, so because everybody is too much attached to this material body, right? That's why people do so much makeup, they make so many decorations and so many things they will do with the body, because they are too much attached to this material body. But Maharaj Nimi was completely detached. He just said, I don't want it. It was given, but he said, I don't want. Like somebody dies, that time he feels so much pain. Why? Because he don't want to leave his body. So when he is taken away from the body, he feels pain and he cries. So Maharaj Nimi, here the case is different, that they are even saying him, because everybody want to have the body. They don't want to leave their body. So, but the Yamdutas will take away the body. So they will cry. But here it is ulta. Here body is giving back. Body is being given back to Nimi Maharaj. You take the body, enjoy the body. But he's saying, I don't want the body, leave it. I want a spiritual body, this material body I don't want. This is full of misery. So because he became so much detached with the material body, which means Deha, because of his so much detachment, his name became Videha. Vaideha, right? So that's how this name comes, Vaideha. Okay. So in this Maharaj Nimi dynasty, all the kings, then they are they became famous like Vaideha or Janak Maharaj. Okay, so in this dynasty only later on another king will come whose daughter was Mother Sita. Right, so that's why, because Mother Sita born in the dynasty of Videha Raj, so sometimes she is also called Vaidehi. Okay, so that's the point here. Okay. Okay. Now, from 12 to 27, birth of Janak Maharaj and his descendants. That is the next section. So that section we shall do tomorrow. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anand Koti Vaishnavin ki jai. Okay. So now 9 o'clock we will take a little break here, and 9 o'clock we will have our Bhagavad Gita class. Okay. So you can take a break. I will also take break. Okay. Hare Krishna. Any question is there, you can ask. Yes. If you have any question, you can ask. Okay. No question? Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. So 9 o'clock, you don't have to disconnect. You can just take a break, and 9 o'clock we will start Bhagavad Gita class. Okay. Hare Krishna.